What's up,
guys? Welcome back to Eagles CoDCast. The CCL season is finally over. I know that you've been waiting to hear those words, DJ. Come on now.
I've been waiting to hear it?
DJ, come on now.
DJ cried a little bit when y'all lost.
He did.
I definitely cried.
Hey, but he did.
I was in tears.
I was too.
So, blue team bowed out at top 32 after taking down UTD and the losers.
Hey, can we just say that we dropped the classic on the community, bro?
Bro, I'm so upset that wasn't on stream. That was a classic game. I still haven't gone back to do Justin's VOD. I'm going to have to go back.
Bro, his first VOD cut.
Yeah,
in your first hard point, it dropped right when you guys take the lead.
I was putting them in a blender. Cow.
That was such a good game. Pally Boy said that it was because that we only won because they were like down, that they were in losers, but they had a whole night to regain, so I'm not buying any of that.
I don't care about none of that.
Everybody got dapped up, man.
Hey man, all I know is that winners round 2, I was giving it all I had. I gave 33 real kills in the hard point against Carlton, just for us to lose, man.
Was that stream?
Yeah. Tommy streamed it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was Tesson played for that one, right?
Yeah, he played for that one. We almost 100 point club in the first map on raid.
Oh, it's 3-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, we lost 3-1. We went round 11 on the search. Me and T both dropped 11 real kills. I think Benny had 5. Tesson had 3. We went up 2-0 in the control, lost 3-2, and then got shit on in the hard point.
That's almost kind of not really how our Bama game went, but we played Bama so close that first map. Like,
bro,
I went so beatable, it makes me sick.
I went into the valley and I told Click that I was like, bro, who's on your account? Don't lie to me. There's no way I just got turned on like that by Click on that
wasn't
song.
playing that good, though.
We've been at his head.
He was double positive in the hard point.
He was cooking.
They won the game because he streaked me out of the garage and it flipped the spawns for B3. I blew up in a building.
I was like, there's no shot. I'm getting streaked on by Click.
That was
right
map
now.
1?
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking about y'all's map.
We play Apocalypse map 1?
No, we played Garrison.
Garrison.
I was in the back garage, P3, and then his artillery blew me up out of there when I'm in the deep corner.
Yes, I remember because he was raging about how did it hit him there because he was in some like deep corner. He was like, I didn't know where that streak should have hit me or whatever.
That's tough.
That was crazy.
That lost us the spawns. We flipped out. They got the full P3. They won.
Quite honestly, if I could have played, like, if we could have scrimmed, let's just say 2 weeks prior, we doing better than gold team, and that's easy. Like, that's
We definitely listen. We're definitely with practice.
He's not content. These guys are...
Dang, he's been. We definitely beat Bama for sure with practice.
We smoked Bama.
Like we played them so close on no practice, bro.
3-0?
Huh?
3-0?
Yeah.
3-1. I say 3-1.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll 3-0. I think
with our full roster, we definitely beat UCF and then definitely beat Bama afterwards.
No question.
We did it in the regular season.
No question.
And we were getting better than what we were at that point.
That's like you guys had such an unlucky run having to play with a sub, and not like to like trash on the sub like Nick or whatever, because like Nick did his thing, but I mean you're playing with somebody you haven't had solid practice with all year. You guys been practicing as a solid 4-man yourselves.
Yeah.
And so like to have a whole different player come in, like that's.
And we've been going crazy that week too. That whole week we'd been VODing every day. T had been staying up for an hour or 2 each night, literally writing down points in VOD of what to watch. Like we had been
Travis?
all that, dude. My tweet after we lost, I was like, I scrimmed 3 days, three times a day for how many months leading up to this? For Tesson just to not even be there, I was pissed.
Yeah, that's hot.
No, he could have played too.
Bro?
He could have came back and played, dude. Yeah. If he watches this, he could have played. He told us his mom and his sister were ready to go, and he was about to go. We had our timeline to start the match was 9:30. He told us his mom and his sister were ready to go at 8:30, and he was about to bounce. And he asked the guy that got married. He was like, "Yo, you mind if I go ahead and go?" The guy was like, "Yeah, no problem." But then he was like, "But I only get married one time. How about you stay and drink some with the boys?"
Bro.
And he folded and stayed and got hammered that night. instead of coming to play.
That's so sad.
And which match was this?
Against UCF.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's tough. I remember I was like, what time do y'all play? And you guys were like, we're trying to see if we can get tests in here in time. And then
And they were like trying to stall. Y'all were trying to stall it out, right?
I literally thought Buckles was like, yeah, we're gonna let this go as long as possible until we definitely have to start it.
well, because like we were at that point, they were so far behind anyway, because they waited on Lurid and they waited on all the other guys in the elite, and then
CSU will be black
I'm about to
torch
say,
for
they
like
was-
4 hours.
They were torching our
Yeah.
shit heavy, bro.
there was like no, the double clutch was the next day, right?
Yeah.
Double clutch is the next day.
Yeah.
And the click sleep through is the next day.
That,
Well, they didn't-
That-
They didn't really care because they were going to make the same money they were as if they played or not. They were like, yeah, why even play and just lose to Ottawa at that? Because they thought they would beat Illini, but
Yeah.
That's lame. I wanted to play.
To me, I would just play just because like it's CCL tournament. Like I'm not gonna just forfeit a match with that.
I mean,
But
we would have
I
played,
understand.
but obviously they
didn't really care.
they didn't even know if they
They
were
did
going
the
to play the
same thing
tournament in the first
last
place.
year, right?
Hey,
Like,
but today the
we got to
ruling
a certain
came
spot, they're
in.
like, we're not gonna win. Doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Today the official ruling came in. We got double clutch Diagati. He's officially banned from all college COD events.
So
And
is
Lance,
Kid
he's
Dragon. So is Kid
Yeah,
Dragon.
that kid Dragon deserved it.
I
but-
have-
What did he
It's
do?
different.
You didn't see that?
He,
No, I just
had to
he
do my
made a
research
dumb
to
comment
figure it out.
about Japan. He was like bringing up Japan into an Twitter argument.
I don't even remember any of that.
All I know is like I saw it afterwards. Like UTA had
Yeah.
made
a
some
statement.
like public apology about it, and then I went to
I
his
didn't think he was still
Twitter,
playing.
and his thing said like all his tweets were protected and you couldn't read them.
He
Yeah.
literally was like, "Yo, how's Mr. Japan doing? Or
Yeah,
how's M
I
Japan
saw-
doing?"
yeah,
pretty
and
wild.
and Punk went
Yeah,
crazy.
I saw-
Like,
yeah,
bro,
Parker was
saw
like,
he-
no, you're not doing that.
Yeah, and then one of their players had tweeted out, he was like 3 years of work all down the drain because that made UTA. I mean, they released a statement after the fact, but it made them look pretty bad for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
I don't even know how your mind jumps
That's
to.
what I'm
Like,
saying.
how do you
That's-
go to that? You can say a bunch of different things, but you just jump to somebody who's dead.
Can't defend himself.
yeah, that's
well, and especially in the way that like
yeah, like you
God,
literally
dude,
said
it's
it
bad.
for clout. It's just so disgusting.
Yeah, he got clout already.
But
Blacklisted from everything.
for sure.
Forever.
And then double clutch went on Zuma's stream.
That was the most entertaining. What was it?
I was getting
4
so
hours?
irritated, bro.
Bruh,
I couldn't even watch
I was
it.
losing
I was losing full, but I was
pissed
entertained the
off.
whole
I was
time.
pissed off.
Because if you were in the CCL call, like Gentry was talking to everybody in the CCL, and they were like, Gentry was like, should I go to their court? And everybody was like, yeah, go do it. And Gentry left, and everybody, you know, they'd be fans. Let's go, Gentry, do it. And then he finally got in the Zuma call. And then, of course, like, nothing good came from it.
Nothing happened at all. But like, so the thing is like, we all knew he was cheating for a long time. It was pretty obvious he was cheating, but there definitely were people who were just taking every tiny little clip they could find and like that was not even sketch, but they're just terrible players, and so they were like, oh look, this is sketch. It's like, no, that's not sketch. But like, when you send that kind of stuff, it discredits the entire argument when you start sending garbage clips in.
And the main point was Double Clutch started off cheating. He got a lot of sus towards him, and so it just moved to his other players. It wasn't even, like, he still cheated during playoffs. Like, there's no question. But it moved to, what was it, Cowley? What was his name?
Probably, yeah.
Cowley?
Yeah.
Like, the whole team. And Risky. Cooley. Yeah.
Cooley.
And Risky, I think.
Yeah.
He was another
Yeah.
one. Like, that's
Look,
sus.
the thing that me and DJ both said was like, if you accuse one of us of cheating and we got kicked out of the tournament and we weren't cheating, the last thing we'd be doing is laughing about it on Zoom and
Yeah,
stream.
you think I'm going to Zuma stream and do all this hard stuff? Like, no, bro. I'm in a call with Buckles for the rest of the night.
I mean, you
Like,
saw how much he donated to get on stream, right?
No, I didn't.
It was a
Wait, it was 150, wasn't it?
$150.
He tossed 150 at him.
He
Oh,
literally
so-
tossed
Okay,
150 to
yeah.
have Zuma's balls in his hand.
Well, my thing is like, you also like, and that's why when people were like, well, look what Zuma said. I'm like, Zuma also is a little incentivized here. You gave him $150.
Right.
Like, he's got to kind of be on your side. For
I didn't even know that.
$150.
That makes sense, no cap.
Well, and like
I didn't know
Standy
that.
and them were also like, yo, this is kind of sketch anyway.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
Garrett-
Zuma was trying to shut him down. It
Yeah,
was-
Garrett had Standy. Garrett got Standy and Parasite in there on his behalf
Like
because he
Rodgers,
was
yeah.
talking to him in the DM, Standy and Parasite, and they were both like, "Yeah, dude, he's 100% cheating,"
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I don't think Zuma and Methods both. They hadn't played in challengers, bro. They've
Yeah.
been playing pro stuff all year. They don't really know what a cheater looks like.
Yeah.
They don't know what to look for or anything like that. They haven't had to experience that all year long, and I think a lot of the guys in the Valley thought that they were just doing it for entertainment at that point, just trying to like
Yeah.
say that no, he's not hacking, but
They don't lose anything from that.
they don't
Exactly.
lose anything from that. But in the bigger scheme of things, all the CCL guys were upset by it
Yeah.
because they've had to play against it, and they know deep down that guy was cheating.
The worst part for me is the CCL staff, because they put on all this work to try to get all this production and stuff done, get all like the packages, get as much all that work done, just for that to be the main focus of the
Yeah,
tournament.
And this was why Ottawa was playing
And
Concord,
just for it to be
too.
overshadowed.
Yeah, exactly.
Finals
had-
were definitely overshadowed just by all
Yeah.
the cheating stuff.
Zuma, I think he picked it around like 6.5 thousand. That was during the Ottawa Concord match, and they only had like 500. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that really just ruined that whole.
Yeah, that's
the
why
whole
when like
bullshit.
all the CCL staff were like, I'm taking a break, I was like, I cannot blame you, bro. Like, why would you?
Running a tournament in Kai when the move to PC has no anti-cheat like that, that's another level of
Bro, and they ran a successful ass tournament.
Yeah.
Like they
CCL's
dealt with
gonna
a
do
lot of dumb stuff, and they were and, like still like some of the best teams were like, no, it was great. Like
Yeah.
even the worst teams are like, no, thank you guys
Yeah.
for running this.
No,
It was an
it's
amazing
always
tournament.
good. I had a question. Did they do All Star?
No.
Not
Why
this year.
not?
I think honestly, like,
Is it too
I'm
many
sure there might have been
divisions?
plans for it, but
Yeah,
like
there's
after
a
that
lot.
whole situation, basically 90% of staff was just kind of over it at that point.
But no, we usually do All Star before playoffs.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know why they didn't do it.
They
then.
probably just didn't have a proper format because
There's a
if
lot
they
of
do
shit.
All Star, and then you wouldn't have to include some people in Ottawa, or you have to include all of them and a lot of other people. get left out.
because it was like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because
I
like
mean-
last year it was like division, right? So it was like, but they really did the same thing. It was
But
like,
last year it
all
was
of
rather
us-
balanced throughout the region.
Yeah,
That's
It's
far-
true because it was all of GSU, all of Concord, all of
It
not
wasn't all of us.
It was everybody but Benny.
Oh shit.
Everybody but Benny.
Yeah.
On Concord it was everybody. On Concord it was everybody.
That's something that like I think like they definitely could have done, but it's just that's a lot. Like this should be at 180, 180, 186.
What was it, like
something
70
that.
last year?
So,
72?
Yeah,
76? Something.
yeah. So it's just like it's hard for them to like count all that stuff up.
I do think they need to move. They need to do like a mid-season tournament, like before the split too. There needs to be a small tournament between the
did
two
not have one
splits.
of those this year?
No,
it
but
was
they
just a
I
swap.
think they're planning on doing one next time.
It'll be more exciting. Have like a prize pool for it, just so it's not everybody, get to the end of the playoffs and then it's kind of like you did everything for no reason. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's your only tournament to prove yourself. And if it doesn't go well, like if you have a couple bad maps, then that's your whole season down the
Yeah.
drain for real.
Yeah.
So at least you get another tournament to kind of prove how you've grown halfway through.
It also makes like power rankings a little easier because you're gonna play people outside of your division and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like doing power rankings with like heavily stacked divisions is just extremely difficult because there are teams that are gonna be like, like 11-0, 12-0, but they're playing nobody, and then
Like
you've got
Concord.
teams that are like 8 and like 4, but they're actually better than the team that's
Like,
11, 12-0.
And on top of that, like, such as the Metropolitan Division, I was talking with Adam, and like 2 of the teams in there had cheaters on them, and then they stole the top 2 spots, so they had to play a team that should have been in playoffs and deserved to be there for their chance at qualifying. So just because there were 2 cheaters in one division, they got knocked out.
You got to think if Ryerson and Sheridan were both kicked out, and if they were never in the bracket to begin with, our whole playoffs,
That's
GSU
yeah.
Gold would have been completely
That's what
different.
sucks.
Because then we don't have to play, arguably, the hardest second round matchup of any number 1 seed.
Yeah,
A team that made what, top 4,
yeah,
and we had to
Yeah.
play them second round.
yeah.
I mean, we all love competition, but it's like, how do we go 16 whatever and 0 in the regular season just to play them second round?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see some
Even
other
for
teams.
them.
Yeah, you
You
see
know
some
what I'm
other teams like I'm a call out Jeremy Godfather for ASU.
Yeah.
They got to like winners round like 3 or 4 or something like that,
Yeah.
and played nobody.
Yeah,
Granted, I mean we would have had to play. We would have got lucky for our winners round 3 because we wouldn't have had to play Ohio State.
yeah.
But I still think we'd have won that. But still, that second round just like that made it tough.
Yeah,
too soon.
that was rough. I
I
know
bet.
that he did say they're gonna like revamp the entire way they seed playoffs next year and like redo basically all the playoffs next year. So
Yeah.
I think a 1 through 64 would be kind of tough to do though.
Yeah.
Give me an NCAA. I was telling Zach about this. Give me NCAA tournament style where you have 4 1 seeds, 4 2 seeds. Just
Yeah.
That's
top
smart.
So it's 1 through 4 in the
That's
country
smart.
are
Yeah.
1 seeds, 5 through 8 are 2 seeds, and so it allows like you guys would have been a 2 seed because you were 5th technically going in. You guys would have faced a 15 seed, then probably a 7 seed, and then maybe a 3 seed. In the
Then it's more like eyes for upsets. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Instead of it just like y'all shouldn't play Carlton round 2. I don't care. Like
Yeah.
that shouldn't have happened. I don't care.
It
Doesn't make
sucked
any
because
sense.
the number 1 division and the number 2 division, the whole thing got matched up against each other
Yeah.
in playoffs
It's insane.
for us. Like, I mean, it was just like looking at how do you look at that when you're making the tournament and like, yeah, this is probably a good idea. Well, let those guys meet later down in the road a little bit.
Make it more exciting.
The other
Make it
thing is
more
this league's
exciting.
got to get paid.
It has to get paid.
Somebody's got to back up this thing. 'cause
I think
it's too big at this point.
A big question is, what would y'all think if? So it's most likely not going to happen. But if CCL was like in the midst of all the cheating and all those scandals, what if they just do console only? Like by then it'll be next November. By
I
the
just
time the
think-
next
I
game
don't think
drops.
so.
I think that's just too hard for
That's
people because
tough.
you got to think, bro.
Because a lot of people got PCs
Yeah, a lot of
for
people buy
this.
Yeah,
PCs.
I bought a PC. I sold my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Half of us on the gold team sold our PlayStations, and we'd have to go buy another one. Like, granted, a PS4 Pro wouldn't be that expensive.
Nah,
but
it'll have to be a 5.
There's
bro.
Yeah,
no
you can't-
availability
you
for
can't
5s
find-
or
you can't find a
Series
5.
X's. You
Yeah.
ain't getting any of the new. You can't get in a 5.
yeah,
Like,
you're
that's
not getting a
happening.
5, and at that point, you're going to be playing at a disadvantage for the
Yeah.
year. So, I mean, they either come out with an anti-cheat or everybody's monitor camming, everybody's doing something every single game.
Which sucks because that means the community is going to stay as toxic as it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Or you
as far
play-
as like amateurs and challengers, they're going to have LANs at that point. So that's going to,
What
weed out
I-
those people. But
what- and I don't
CCL's
have
gonna
any,
do the
like,
same.
inside intel, but I think from what I know of the guys, that next year playoffs will probably be more than one weekend, probably 2.
I'm
And
surprised they didn't do that.
They couldn't this time because of CDL.
Oh yeah, because stage 3 next week.
Yeah, so
Or
that's
this weekend. I guess.
yeah. It's all like every weekend was a
It is this
CDL event for a while. So because they tried to, but that just didn't work out with those dates. So I think it'll be a 2-weekend event, and I'm willing to bet that they're gonna try their absolute tail off to get second weekend on land.
They could have done what
That'd be
what
crazy.
CDL did now, like started on a Wednesday, and then by the time Sunday comes around, then it kind of like slows down.
I think
how
they
many
were afraid of
matches there
interfering
are.
with classes. But that's my guess. I don't know because I haven't talked to them, but that would be my only thing I can think of.
Well, if they can't do 2 weekends, I think starting on a Wednesday would
Yeah.
be
For like
pretty
the
decent way
first
to
couple
do it.
rounds.
For the first couple
first round and then a couple losers.
Just to get them out the way, because you're having 4 streams run, and if you get to the weekend and it's only like Alpha Bravo or maybe Charlie, that kind of like increases viewership throughout those days.
I feel like a CCL LAN, when you come down to like Championship Sunday and stuff like that, would be hard to run at some point because you got to think that a lot of the schools don't get any funding from the school,
Yeah.
so they'd have to come for flights, hotel, and everything out of pocket.
I'd assume if they got to that point, they'd have sponsors. And I don't think it'd be very hard, especially depending on how they file taxes at that point, to make it a charitable donation if it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only way that they can run a LAN is they have to do it like top 16.
Yeah, well, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. It'd be second weekend for
yeah.
sure. It wouldn't be both
And
weekends.
it's either got to be top 16 or top 8 at that point, and even then it's.
And I feel like at that point you'd have to have a week or 2 off in between so people could actually schedule because
And you have to address it at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
That way you
Yeah.
know
So
by the
people
time
know,
playoffs come
right.
around, like
you'd
there's
have to
no
you'd have to
question.
say at the beginning of the season like, yo, we're gonna have a LAN. It's gonna be top 8. It's gonna be on this day.
Mhm.
You
Or
got 2
like-
weeks off to plan.
Yep.
Or it could be something that's like I could see a school like Ottawa throwing money at it, throwing like decent chunk of money at
Yeah,
it.
Ottawa's.
Ottawa and schools like that would definitely pay.
I mean,
for
how
the
much
tickets, yeah.
how much would it hurt the CCL if they tossed like it made teams pay like an extra $50 for when they toss? Because then if you think about 180 teams, $50 a piece at that
Yeah.
point.
I mean, all it does is keeps growing the CCL as it is. I mean, the
Well,
team
that-
has to enter.
that
It's
fit-
gotten more and
if
more.
they think like when they charge the teams that $50 is going to
How
go
much
towards
is
a
it
land,
now?
Yeah.
like that could be
It's
feasible.
like 3 something.
Yeah.
It was 300 for 2 teams, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 200 for one team, 300 for 2. So if you think $50 extra, like even if you just do that for 100,
Yeah.
And there's so many schools that are in the CCL now, even if it's like small clubs that are like, dang, I wish I can be in it, but we don't have funds. Like the CCL isn't necessarily catering the small school clubs
Yeah.
anymore. Like they have
It can.
the Ottawas that have top AMs on their team. That's what they're worried about. And like actual varsity programs that's in the CCL. So
that's why I think eventually that moves. Even if it's not next year, I would say within the next 2, probably 3 years, it's got to.
3 years max.
Yeah, the playoff, and not the entire playoff, but that second portion of the playoffs, I imagine it's got to be on limit.
It makes me think. See, you remember before this whole Eagle Sky stuff started up when we were at my place, and I was sitting down there. I was like, bro, we have to get back into CCL because that was after the BL4 season where we just focused on AM stuff. And I was like, bro, the CCL is about to go stupid, bro.
And like what you're doing now, is what you were talking about doing before MW.
Before Modern Warfare.
Yeah, like the stuff I'm seeing now, like it's my first time being here with the chairs. I've been here with the monitors and with the chairs. Stuff you're telling me this type stuff is gonna happen before MW started.
And it's crazy.
The one thing on like a personal, like for us, that I really hope next year we get is obviously computers, but more importantly to be able to play our matches out of the room.
That's a big thing, and we're gonna. Yeah, come on, now.
We're working on it.
I know. Like I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus.
There's some stuff in the talks.
But I mean, and I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. But that
that's a big deal.
Yeah, it was definitely something that like we were obviously we love the practice space and it's amazing. We used it as much as we could, but being able to play matches out of it, especially like playoff matches, would have been huge.
And according to Carlton, which is our networking advisor, I guess you can say, he does all the internet stuff for us. We're gonna have our own fiber dedicated network just to these Ethernet ports.
Yeah.
So we need some talks with some Dell people.
Yeah, it's
3070s be looking good.
come on now. It's looking interesting.
That would be that's just a big thing. I feel like the next step is definitely to be able to play all of our matches out of here.
Yeah.
It's a completely different setting to play your matches in a actual space.
Yeah, we definitely would have been in here more. That was the only thing with like the only problem that T and Tustin and them have, because I mean, it was just
Maybe sleep.
picking up their computer and
Yeah, I mean, definitely was not easy, but we definitely.
Somebody had to do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yes, sir. Of course.
Hey, at least I'm here. You never saw any of them else.
No,
doing
sir.
it.
We've seen Benny one time in here.
Yeah, he was.
You and Benny came in here once.
Yeah.
That came in one too.
I wanted to come more, but we were scrimming so much during the day that
Yeah.
I never got time to do any of it.
Yeah.
But now that, of course, we're done with the season, I have more time to do stuff like this.
I gotta ask y'all two a question. How does the season, or like, how does it feel knowing that the season is over? Because of course, I jumped back in literally just for my playoff matches. So in my head, I'm like, dang, the season went by fast. But you guys played the whole thing, so was it like a long season?
I felt like it went quick, but
Yeah.
To me, because I remember the Black Ops 4 season, it felt the perfect length. Because I remember, I mean, I didn't play last year, but I remember Black Ops 4, and the entire time I was like, I want this to end.
yeah, that was kind of long.
It felt like, and I don't know, it could have been shorter than this. I really don't know, but I know, I remember feeling it felt like it never ended.
Did we?
No, we ended up just
We talked a lot of them.
But like I remember like basically begging for that season to be over, and I was just kind of over it. This year I really felt like it was the perfect length. I don't want it to go longer, but I don't feel like any shorter would have I don't think it would have done justice to go shorter. I really like this length, and I really liked the specific match time and stuff like that. All right, but to answer the question, what do you think about the length of the season?
I thought the season was fine in length. Granted, I also didn't play last year, and so I mean, I didn't know how long it was compared to last year, but I still thought it was a good length. You know, I mean, yeah, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every second of it. I'm glad. I'm like mixed emotions. I'm kind of glad it's over so I can go play different games.
Yeah.
But I'm also gonna miss like the competing aspect of it.
You mean so you can ego me on Rust? That's what I'm saying.
Dude,
This man does not want to let me play with
that's
him.
not the case.
I've tried so hard. This man does not
That
want
is
to
not. That is big cap. Anyways,
You'll let me play.
But
I'll ego you. Yeah, I'll ego you.
I think the only thing I would change from the season is
Let's just give our own like one thing that we would
Yeah.
change. You just go down.
I think-
And like everybody can be in, honestly.
I got two.
I mean, the one thing I would change, like overall, is I just I wish as a team we would have just practiced more consistently and before like not just playoffs but like throughout the season. Like we practiced, but it was pretty inconsistent. But for the league itself, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
For the league itself, I don't really. I think like it ran pretty smoothly. I mean, other than playoff stuff, but that's all getting redone itself. So I don't feel like I have to go into that.
A big thing that I would do would be there's like automated codes to where you can pinpoint parts of a document to see if they're legit. I think instead of waiting the playoffs to determine if somebody's a full-time student, they should kind of implement something at the beginning of the season to where you don't run into what we ran into. And of course, you kind of have, it's like a lot of people to do manually, but I think they should try to get something automated to be like, if you're not a full-time student, you can't play, and we'll address that at the beginning and get that out the way.
I think I agree that would be nice. I just think it's hard because the amount of.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said automated.
Yeah.
If it's manual, you can't do it. Right?
My whole thing with how many people having certain credit hours and then getting kicked out for it, I don't think that's even on the CCL at all. That's got to be on your own, knowing how many credit hours you got to take. To me, I think that's your responsibility before you play to know.
But that can change.
I have to have this many credit hours to play and be eligible for the whole season. And if I don't, then why would I even play?
My only rebuttal to that would be there's probably going to be AMs coming into the CCL that are part-time, and they can get through the whole season being part-time until the playoffs, and then at that point they might I don't know what happened from then, but I feel like there's a lot of people that would be like, I'm not full-time, but I'll just play until, and we'll just see what happens after that. I don't know.
They could just check it at the split. Just instead of, because if you aren't good for the second half of the split, then you can't make it to playoffs.
It's something that
But
needs
it's still
to be checked
that's still the
before
same amount of
playoffs.
teams.
Yeah.
So that still runs into the same issue of there's a lot of people to check with volunteers. If
Yeah,
you're
that's
paid
hard on
staff,
them,
you
yeah.
get away with it because
I mean,
you're getting paid. But
We were talking in the Valley about it, and we were like, if you start at the beginning of the year and you go to the split, and you have to have them all done by the split, that's a lot of time you have. We will, a lot of us in the Valley were like, we'll sit down and we'll help. You give us a certain amount we need to do in a week and check, we'll do that. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
As long as we know people have the right amount of classes and aren't getting kicked out the day before playoffs start. So you know. You know what I mean?
Or if you have any, upon buying a team pass, right? If you have every team confirmed,
yeah.
you know what I mean, that it's legit. And if by playoffs that changes, then that whole team is forfeited because you have to sign up with the team pass with a legit roster. I don't know. I feel like there's a way to do it.
There has to be a way to
The
do
thing
it.
about
It's
doing it
just
at the beginning of the season too is that you can have 15 hours and then drop 2 classes and have 9 hours.
But then
By
you
the
can
time
be
playoffs come.
withdrawal exempt. There should be a withdrawal exemption because you shouldn't be able to forfeit CCL because you withdrew from.
That's why I look feel bad for
but
Josh.
but for
Is that
example,
what you did?
Yeah,
No,
Josh
but-
withdrew from one class.
No, but listen, so what if a bunch of AMs, right? They're gonna go they'll sign up for 15 credit hours. They submit that, and then day 3 they drop 3 classes.
That means they just paid for pointless classes for a CCL.
Then that's on them. They're just being idiots.
And I feel like if they do that, then if they want to exploit it in that way, then I mean, what can you do? But there's a lot of kids, even
you do
myself,
have to pay for the classes.
Well,
if I
think-
have to drop a class because I might fail it, I'm withdrawing. That shouldn't have to get me out of the CCL.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to be in good academic standing at the same time with you. I don't know. I'm both ways on it. I think that you should check it both, but it's just the man hours required is basically impossible. I think, in the best case scenario, you would pay someone to check it at the beginning of the season and right before playoffs, so that way you make sure everybody's eligible throughout the season. But I mean, it's obviously borderline impossible. So.
I mean, what about you? You're, you know what I'm saying? You might be back next year, so what do you feel? Just based off, Modern Warfare and what you've seen this year.
I mean, y'all hit all the good points on the head. I really have no problem. I think the CCL is doing great for COD wise, league wise. I think after CDL, it's us, and then it's not close.
Honestly.
So I feel like we're doing fine. We're gonna.
As far as respect, I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant production level.
No. After CDL, it's not close. So I feel like they're gonna continue to get better without us even saying anything.
Yeah.
So that's just how those guys are. I know those guys from season 0. I know the type of guys they are, and they always just want to get better. So
I also think it's important that we all know somebody in the CCL, right? They're involved. You know what I mean? The CDL isn't that involved, whereas the CCL is involved. So they're gonna do what we want. You know what I mean? Or they're gonna try to. So.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think just the not making sure that some teams just don't have a cupcake schedule.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at some point you can't, like, there's going to be a few teams that, I mean, they have a cupcake schedule, just granted, because there's nobody in their, like,
In their
specific
region.
You're
region.
talking like
But, like-
regular season or playoffs?
Regular season. Like, you should be at least tested a little bit, because you got to think, like, word to Rutgers and Lou and them, they had a gauntlet. Us, we
That's always
had 2 or 3 or 4 games that were a gauntlet. Like FSU, UCF, Bama. Full Sail wasn't an easy game. Rutgers had Carleton, Sheridan,
Jesus.
double clutching the boys.
Yeah,
Ryerson, and I think they had another one in there. And then you have Concord plays Penn State first game of the year, and then they play
That's
Milkman
it.
for the rest of the year.
That's it.
I mean,
Jasmine.
at some point, I mean, you can't do much about it, but
Was regular season just teams in your division, or was it?
Yeah, so you play teams in your division, and then you, based on how you performed in the first half of your division, you got sent to the other top or bottom half. They like redid your division.
So it was still all in the same
still your
division.
division.
So
Yeah,
really,
so-
there's nothing you can do about that. It's
That's
just-
why
Well,
my
so,
idea
but if
of
you did a
doing it-
mid-season tournament, you could play
Exactly.
other
That's
divisions.
probably the only thing you could do. Cause like Coastal, I'm not gonna lie, Coastal, other than us and FSU, and maybe we might get a new team here and there, we've always not been the best. Like group, we've been like pretty like regular, like middle of the pack when it comes to like
Competition.
competition. But usually there's gonna be like us that's usually on top of all of that. So we're gonna obviously smoke most of those middle of the pack teams. But that's just like that just comes with the schools. There's really nothing you can do about it.
you saw when it came to placing, the Coastal was the best.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
we have the middle of the pack. That's what I'm saying. Like our
Yeah.
teams are real like averagely pretty good when it
Yeah.
comes to competition. We just don't. We only have like maybe 1, maybe 2 teams that are like, you know,
Yeah.
top 5 power rankings.
We had the best placings wise out of, we had like 5 in what, T32, something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because Full Sail made the losers bracket run, Florida State made a good run, then you
Same
had,
thing last year.
for us to get through losers, we had to play UCF and then Alabama.
Yeah.
So,
Which
I mean,
sucks, not to bring it back up, but if y'all had that for UCF, like,
we're 100% winning that series.
y'all aren't losing to Bama.
Have me on
Oh,
Fridays.
right.
and
No,
Fridays.
I do think with Click, if he was playing good, that would have been a really good
It would've been a
series.
great
That would've been
series.
a
Playing
really
against
good
Click
series.
Ringer.
With me, we smoked Concord Gray 3-0, and then
Those-
they
I'm not-
they placed top 8. We
Words of
placed top
those guys were awful.
16.
Nico's watching this, that's for you, Nico. You guys were awful.
They got pieced up P5 on raid, bro.
Yeah, those guys, granted, bro, we gave them a free round of control. We gave them a free round of
Or
control,
T16.
and we still beat them 3-2. They got the next round, then we got 3 straight.
Yo, their run was so like.
Bruh.
Shout out to Nico. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
he tried.
he
No,
really,
no hate towards Nico,
Yeah,
but
but
he was
their
talking.
run
He
was
was talking
so-
shit,
yeah.
so he
Their
did
run
what
was
he
so dramatic on Twitter, bro. It was like this fake Cinderella story. I was like, get out
Yeah,
of
bro.
here,
Like if we played the same team.
Nah, but it was kind of crazy that they lose to Ryerson and they had to like go
That's
back
what it
and
was. I
win
remember actually,
game.
didn't they like come back after they lost?
Well, so yeah, they lost to Ryerson. Ryerson went on to beat like 4 other teams, and then finally CCL was the guy looked at Berto, whatever his name is, through the floor, and then Bernard, and so everybody was like, all right, we got you, and then they forfeited him, and then they made basically every team that Ryerson beat got to go back through the bracket to try to like
That's
see if
what
they
that-
would go through.
Dude, imagine if we would have just lost to Concord Gray first
I
round.
know.
We would have had the easiest runs for money in
I was
the
like,
world.
dang, I should have played
Yeah.
like shit that season.
We're beating Ryerson.
Yeah.
We're having those guys monitor cam. They're getting 6 monitor cams. I don't care. We're doing everything, and we're beating everybody else. We're
Yeah.
getting top whatever.
I mean, I remember
easily.
we talked about that in the Valley before the playoffs. We were like,
I was like, what if
borderline just throw the
We
first
were like,
snap
what do
and
we
you get an
do?
easy
We're to
bracket.
Bama last year, but
Yeah.
because I mean,
They played that smart last year.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's the honcho.
oh, Rutgers
He
also
did
had
the
to play
same
Humber
thing.
in the regular season for their side.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh,
I think they had to play Humber gold and blue.
North
Yeah.
teams are tough, and they had to play Penn. Did they play Penn State?
I don't think they played
No,
Penn
no,
State.
no.
Don't have
Bro,
anything
Penn
to do
State,
with it.
dude,
Oh,
they lost first round
They're terrible.
to Big
That's just
Master?
McMaster.
I
bro.
don't know how, because they were smoking our shit heavy.
They're a
The
big
day
scrim
before,
team.
no,
Yeah,
the
they're big
hours
scrim team.
before that, when we
I
scrimmed
remember
up, getting
somebody told me
absolutely pissed on, bro. It was bad.
That's what somebody told me that. So when Max went on, I was like, "What is going on over there?" What
Yeah,
the
we were getting we got 100 points up like 2 or 3 times, and I'm sitting there like, these guys are the best in the game.
Yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah, I
scrim team
spectated
in
those
the game
scrims. I was like,
since last
Jesus
year.
It was
But they were
bad.
also killing you guys really fast. I bet you they didn't have that good of a connection against McMaster.
I know,
Who
Hey,
else?
we fried gold on our screen. I'm just saying.
I got-
Hey, y'all got
We
IM
won every
playoffs,
map.
Oh
so-
shit.
You got IM playoffs
Wait,
against
wait,
them.
wait. That was with me. We won every map.
No, you didn't.
No, you did not.
What,
We only lost
we
one
lost
map,
one
I
map. What?
No,
what
Nah,
lost
map?
a map to them?
That's what I'm saying.
That was
They
the
lost
game.
the map. Like,
Yeah,
that's all I needed.
We lost one. I
Y'all lost
think we
two
lost
maps?
Gary and played them all close.
I think you lost Gary.
Yeah, Gary's
Yeah,
not-
that's my worst map. I
Yeah.
costed on
guys-
Gary all weekend.
I think we won raid.
All of y'all.
I don't remember.
No,
I just
no.
remember that we played them really close, and I was like, "Dang, these kids are not." No,
These kids are
I
terrible.
was like, "They're terrible."
Nah,
We
after
went
those,
blue
after
team
that
keep
scrim,
up.
after that
was
scrim though, I was like, oh, y'all are going far.
Oh, I really was.
I was screaming at T off the like. It was like the first kill.
Yeah, I was like,
God,
"Oh, T's
T.
terrible. I beat that guy for money."
Yo, DJ was beaming me in those scrims, dude. I was like, oh shit.
Every time
I was like,
every
y'all
time I
are
play
hard.
against him, just like I beat him from
I
lane.
don't play.
I don't play, bro. I had 3 days of practice before that. 4 days of practice.
I
You
ain't
don't
trying
touch
to
the
hear that.
toy.
He didn't play all season. What you mean?
Listen, every time I kill T on any game, I'm always just like, I beat you for money. That's all I think of every time.
Cause they're at my place,
But
mind
yo,
you. As
where-
soon as the first scrim starts, first map, I'm like on my phone. Oh my God, T! I'm looking over. It's still 0-0. I'm like, what the?
Ugh.
But yeah, I mean,
odds, bro.
we can honestly wrap this up. I think
Yeah.
we talked about everything.
It was a good season. Shout out to CCL staff
I'll
for
be
putting it on
back.
and all
I
that.
promise.
Yeah, we're gonna do a
Nah,
reveal.
stay your ass.
And
Yo,
I'm
when
taking
Chopper's
us-
come,
I'm
it
taking
needs
us
to be like a CJ and Chopper's like.
We'll
reveal
figure it out.
video.
Oh my
Don't worry, we'll figure that out.
I was just talking to Tommy because like he was talking about not playing COD no more. I was like, I like FaceTimed him. I was like, listen, like no, like all jokes aside, I was like, when I come back, and you are like passionate about the game, and we can get T to be passionate about the team, and then literally whoever else,
Coming out nasty next year.
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Bro,
have
they're
to say.
getting third.
I don't have to say anything else. I'm beating it. I'm
Nah,
beating it.
they're beating the
I'm
scholarship
beating it.
kids.
Ottawa. I'm beating one Ottawa team. At least.
We are beating
I
the
promise
scholarship kids
you.
next
I
year.
promise you, I'm beating at least one Ottawa team.
But who,
Ottawa
who do you
boys
think?
I put it on.
Who do you think's gonna probably from Gray? Somebody from Gray's got to replace
Kyle's
Jamie
coming
on,
up.
on Maroon, right?
Kyle's coming up.
Nah,
for
but
sure.
we'll see.
You got-
No,
think
they
he
have
will?
roster
Yes,
plans.
sir.
They have something
Yeah.
in the works for their roster.
But-
Yeah, Kyle's coming up for sure though. So,
Alright.
you know.
All right, y'all. It's been fun. This was a good podcast. We actually had a lot of voices this podcast, so hopefully y'all enjoyed.
Boy, get off me.
We'll see y'all next week. Do you know when this is gonna be uploaded? I don't know. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We out. Is it playing?
What's
yet?
up, bro?
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Gotcha.
Huh? What's this is something from the whole blue team and myself.
Oh, got it?
On the man himself.
Am I opening this on?
Yes.
Yes.
On stream, bro.
That's why he restarted it.
Yo, say you swear. What?
Oh, that's my notes from art class.
Yo, you ain't get a note. Calm down.
Got me cocaine? Yo, say you swear.
Hey, show the camera. Show the camera.
You know how to unbox, bro?
Show the camera, dog.
Oh, what?
Them long got bolts.
That's what I'm saying. I got bigger.
Damn, it's like a size 20, bro.
Right.
Bro,
Hey, big feet,
bro, you understand? You
Oh,
understand?
chill.
Cam, you
Big
have to understand
sauce.
that Nick one time asked in the DMs, yo, DJ, what's your shoe size? And this man came in here roasting. He's like, why is this man asking my shoe size?
Yeah,
Show
show
the
that.
camera.
Oh, what? It's backwards. You're gonna have to flip it, but it's all G. That's crazy. What?
Them guys clean.
Sir.
What?
Them guys clean.
I don't even want to wear these.
I
jumps,
do-
bro.
I
They
do better
should go in
not.
a box. They go in like
You
a
better
nice
not.
little.
They go in the
display
glass case,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I'm gonna dap you up too. I'm
I
dapping.
know, I'm
you.
here. I
Happy
know.
graduation, bro.
Yep.
Thank you. I'm dap you up too. Come on.
Yeah, I'm
See, I
happy
would
I
have
was
got
here
you
for
some
this.
socks for graduation, but
I would have. Hey, I'm grateful for anything. I promise you. Jesus,
I got you some new slides.
I've been wearing these for a minute.
You're about to cry, Hanson.
Wait, who did the design?
This guy in my art class, in my drawing class.
You did a good job, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, he did these too.
Give her kind of
Those are fine.
Those is hard.
I thought it was right when you walked
Those
in.
are hard.
Nick, I need you to take that off. Put that on.
How much you charging?
You want me to put it on?
How much you
Yeah,
charging?
right? You got. We got.
150? Can I get
We'll have
it?
to credit them.
Yeah, that's
Boys to Jacksonville.
that's shoe game on Twitter. I mean on Instagram. SHU game. That's it.
Smell like food.
Oh yeah, I got 8 pounds.
God damn, we're about to go. Fuck.
Are y'all about to do 8 pounds?
Yes.
Oh fuck.
Every time I walk in,
I got a 10 piece.
What's the flavor?
Huh?
What's the flavor?
Yes.
Extra spicy or extra hot or whatever.
Extra hot.
Where is it?
Extra hot?
Mm-hmm.
Golly.
All I know is every time I walk in here, DJ be like,
I'm saying.
"Eight pound?"
Bro, I can't even
Yeah,
handle
I don't
hot.
do
He's
that.
got extra hot.
Eight
I don't
pound.
do